Good evening, everyone. We're back. We were away, but now we're back, and we're delighted to spend some time with you. Look at this intro. Well. What a performance from the lads tonight. I'm sure that everyone is delighted, and I find myself joined by OMONDI and Mr. B tonight. So, OMONDI, how are you? Have you had a nice day?
I've had a beautiful day and a great, better evening. So I want to say big up to the hi-hats in the intro. At first, I really listened out to them. It was like click, hi-hat. Love that. Mr. B's been in the studio. What a performance. As you said, bath time. I'm so pleased to be on the show tonight. And, I feel buzzed. I feel like really excited and happy because it's like a vision into the future of what our football could look like going forward. So when you get a sample of that tonight, like we did tonight, and people say, oh, it's only the Carabao Cup, oh, it's only Crystal Palace. It doesn't matter the opposition or the trophy or what competition we're playing in. We each want to see progress in our side. And I thought we took a little step towards something tonight where I think the fans will go home happy. We're happy on the panel, and hopefully the guys in the comments are buzzing too.
Mr. B, how was your day?
It doesn't matter. We won. It's crazy. When Man United lose and my Saturday team win, I don't care about Man United, but I do. I really do. People are going to say, oh, it was a Crystal Palace blah 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 team. I don't give a shit. When the team puts in a performance like that, what they did today, and Casemiro was, he was on a different level today. But look, we'll get on to all of those things. I'm delighted. Bath time. Whatever happened post game means nothing. This has now set me up for the rest of my evening.
Yeah, I think you echo all our sentiments. That was a wonderful performance, and I'd like to give a special shout out to Amrabat for producing the most Sunday League shot I've ever seen in my life at Old Trafford.
Smash my window.
Yeah, that was fantastic. But right, let's go through the comments. First off, we've got Big T, and he's saying, I can't remember the last time I was positive for an entire stream. We turned Crystal into Glass Palace.
With a glass battery. Don't throw stones our way, guys.
Waffle Trades Alt, yo.
Ooh. Welcome.
Waffles are my natural enemy, so I hope that you won't, because they're carbs, so that I hope you'll be kind to me. We've got Double A, big up the UA crew.
Yes, man.
Oh, United Agenda, that's us.
Oh, come on, bath time.
Yeah, sorry, it's something else at work, the UA. And then we got Colm, who's been a member for 15 months, which is very impressive. Only one thing to say, pure domination tonight. Well, I hope you enjoy that later, Colm.
Brilliant. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we got Bill Baggio.
That was good.
Thank you. A good win. Monday.
That's really good.
You killed him. Watch for the minutes, and one day's going to be gone.
Yeah. Good win. No injuries. Performance was okay, but Palace care more for the league game, obviously. And then Big T's back again. There was no ego on the pitch tonight, and we benefited massively. I've got a feeling that these comments might be heading in a certain direction.
We'll save that.
Pat
Lawless, the housewife's favourite, is back again. What's the story, lads? Amrabat is like Kante on a cocktail of juice and Red Bull. Juan Sebastian Amrabat.
Wicked.
It's going to be a good show. Yeah. Big T, I've ditched carbs and lost 6 kilograms. Yes, Big T. Good for you. But remember, before a match or before exercise, just add a potato to that meal because you do need some carbs. And then Colm is saying, I will bath time. Keep us updated, Colm. It might awaken something in a Monday. You never know.
Oh, Lord.
Bath time's had a few beers. I'm actually stone cold sober, unfortunately. This is just me in a good mood. Right, so we got through the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and if you find anything funny, clip it up. But let's get on to the starting lineups and shape. Now, Mr. B, you were in your normal state of befuddled confusion before the game started. What did you think to the players picked and where they played on the pitch, and how did you see the game unfolding?
We called the Amrabat one. Let's give Solo a pat on the back. He did call Solo at one of the fullback positions yesterday. The midfield was a surprise. That wasn't what I was expecting, as in Mount and Mabry. But I was delighted to see it, the energy levels in there. You could see the step up today, and obviously the front three we knew would start. So a little bit surprised, but very, very happy with what was put out.
Okay, Omondi, do you echo that?
Yeah, man, big up. The goalkeeper situation, we thought that the Turkish guy would get a game, but it was Onana again. And I think this is good. It's a good choice overall, because I think Onana, he's got to the stage now where people don't want to close him down, and it sort of gives us a bit of a calm. You know, he always goes for that calm. And we have that feeling in defence now, you know. No one rushes him because they don't want to get embarrassed. As simple as that. Going forward, yeah, we've got Amrabat at right back. He sort of played left back, but he also played centre back. He also played centre midfield. He was all over the place, and I thought he was the key to why we performed so well today. Just an adjustment, a player coming in who's familiar with what he's doing, knowing how to play that role really well. You talk about inverted fullbacks, all this kind of thing. He's just a ball player. He's a very good player. That's all I care about. All this great terminology for sort of positions and all that thing now. He's a good footballer. Simple as that. I'm just going to leave it as that. He's a good footballer. He's been asked to play in a role which you say he's not familiar with, but if you look at someone's heat map who plays in centre midfield, he often does cover those areas and brings the ball out. You look at Casemiro today, he was able to drop into the back three. What do you call it again for half time?
La salida Volpiano.
There you go. I would never get that, so I'm thankful you're here. And we saw Amrabat do that as well. So a man of jack of all trades, as they say. And that's what I'm saying. When you're a very good footballer all round, not just technique, because you got players like Eze, who's good technique, you know, but can he do what Amrabat does and fill in different positions and do things for the team's sake? As you mentioned, Bath time in the World Cup when he played against France, he was able to play in different positions for the sake of the team and perform admirably. So I like what we did today with the back three. I watched BBC website. I looked to see the starting lineup because I was rushing. I fell asleep, woke up late. Oh God, what's the team? And they put they started it as they couldn't work it out. They put a three, meaning Dalot, Varane, and Maguire, and they put Amrabat in midfield, not thinking that he would play where he did today. So overall, really delighted with the way we set up, and the shape is the most important thing here. Forget formations, because when we got the ball is one thing, when we haven't got the ball is another thing. And I just thought it was just so fluent. I just enjoyed watching the movement. It's like I was in the top tier of the stadium today where I was watching from my TV. I could see everything. And it was just beautiful to watch the way we pinned them back in their half, played football in their half, rotated really well. And we go through the players, everything else, but to a man, I'm really, really happy. And it's not about the players, the personnel. It's about the team structure and how we play. So when we're talking about players coming in and out, people should be able to come in, see what we did today from the bench or from the sideline and say, I want to play in this team because it looks a lot of fun.
And okay, so we've spoken about like Amrabat will obviously be the big talk.
What do you think of the starting lineup Bath time before we go any further, and the shape?
Well, you know, I'm pleased that Ten Hag has finally caught up with me, to be perfectly honest. Where...
what have you been waiting for? Come on.
No, look, I think anyone who's sort of watched the eye test or listened to my nonsense for the last sort of 2 years will have known that the structure we put out today is the one that I've been asking for a very long time. We saw Amrabat, like, there were some issues to Amrabat's game today that I didn't like, and I noticed that Ten Hag made a slight adjustment after he played 2 wall passes too straight, and a better team would have pressed the life out of us there, and then he got sent to centre back after that. So Amrabat had a very good performance, but there's room for growth. But what really impressed me was his defending in wide areas. Like I think early in the first half, he absolutely bodied someone, like their right back or something in that area, and so that was great to see. But I was also impressed with what I saw from the shape in the midfield. In particular, Hannibal, who has a lot to learn, he was the runner in that game, and I thought he did well in the running role. And I thought it was just a really nice performance to see the team shifting about. We saw Casemiro at centre back, which I've wanted for a while. We saw him then sort of breaking lines and getting up the pitch. There's so much I'd like to say because it was a great performance, but we can break it down in more detail at another time because we've got to do comments, innit? And first up is Hydro, and he's having 4 beers technically. So good on you. Got Big T. The reason Amrabat made us perform well today was it allowed Casemiro to get more forward. Zoe's Media House, she's obviously sort of like trying to sort of curry favour with you, Omondi, by saying Maguire played well with the Rolls Royce.
Big up Zoe Media House.
Yeah. I thought Maguire did play well, personally.
Absolutely.
Pat Lawless, our scout from Ireland, is telling us that Palestri is a promising little player.
Yes.
And then Big T is saying the biggest improvement today was what went on in and around the box. Garnacho and Palestri especially. Do you all agree with that?
Yeah, you know what they did?
A lot of good movement by these guys.
And you know what it was as well? You see the shape that they held? They varied what they did. They went outside or they popped it inside and made the run outside instead of trying to run past the player. So it kind of kept everything moving. I was really impressed with the wide men today. I really enjoyed watching the wide men play today.
Me too. I thought we played a bit of Ange ball today. What Tottenham did to us. Movement off the ball, making it quick, simple, nice, and very effective in those areas there. Obviously, you're going to be camped. You're going to have big, strong units like Crystal Palace players around you. So rather than get into physical duels or trying to take people on like Anthony would do or something like that, just play triangles, Bermuda triangles, and get them lost like that. Can't get near you. They shouldn't be able to touch you. And I think once Palestri realised, Mitchell's a unit. This guy is a beast. I can't really beat him one-on-one. Let me play my football around him. The same applied to Garnacho, who played a bit better football today than I'm used to. He wasn't really driving every time he got the ball. So what I really loved is the sort of the movement, pass and move. It's a Liverpool groove. That's how he needs to play. But I like the pass and move around in the opposition half. And in those final third as well, it opens things up. And I'm really pleased by that.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that the biggest improvement today was our second phase play. Which was fantastic, and with Palestri and Garnacho holding their width, we actually for once made use of the channel, which is a huge thing that Ten Hag's been trying to do. And Delo made an underlapping run, which we haven't seen ever since Ten Hag came in, leads to a goal. It was fantastic. Those 2 young boys holding the width and not doing stupid stuff. And Brush is back. Happy days. Yeah, big up, Brush. Happy days. Same again on the weekend, please. Smiley face emoji. Damien Walsh. Drayton Manor. Yeah. You're as predictable as like Rashford or Anthony. Red Army. Good win.
Big up, Damien.
And then Big T. I knew this was coming. Oh, for God's sake, let's talk about the elephant in the room. We look better without Bruno and Rashford. We'll
save that. We'll save that. We'll save that. I can see a Thursday night show with a full panel, and maybe we can have a discussion about United's strongest starting 11. And Big T, as always, your comments will be viewed with importance.
And then DN Vlogs back again.
Yeah, vlogs.
What would you start on Saturday? Blah 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 blah. We'll do that. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow.
That'll come. That'll come.
Let's also talk about Lindelof attacking the goal.
He had a shot, didn't he?
Yeah, he's playing as a sort of inverted left back and hit a shot straight down the keeper's throat. It's quite fun. I always notice in these Carabao Cup games that you have a different like match going crowd than the league games, and they're always like sort of saying shoot from ridiculous situations. It really gets to me watching it. And Big T is saying that beers won't keep you hydro. And UK strains, good, solid performance. Excellent. So with that in mind, we're going to talk about the performance. So Monday, we've run out 3-0 winners. First of all, instead of the United performance, I want you to tell us about why Crystal Palace weren't that bad, or were they terrible?
I think Crystal Palace were good. They set up good. It's just that we were that good today. Simple as that. Let's get rid of this the graphic.
I don't know how.
Yeah. I will do that. Sorry, there you go. See, I can see. Oh, look, I can see you. I can see your big, beautiful face now.
Skinny teeth. I thought Palace. People say, it's only Carabao Cup. Oh, it's only Crystal Palace. They weren't at the races. They didn't really want it. They played a strong side. They're big, physically strong as well. I think they tried their best to contain us. They got to the point where we were dragging them out of position and opening them up, and they had a good shift today. They were running all over the place, trying to maintain some sort of composure out there. And I think the way we played our football, we made them look poor. So if anyone's saying, they're not very good, or they didn't look good, it's because we enforced that on them. They couldn't, they had no choice but to sort of try and tighten it up. And especially when you go a goal, this is what I mean about good footballing sides. When you go a goal up and you're controlling the play, and then you're restricting them. So I can't recall too many counters from Crystal Palace. It's something we've kind of had an issue with in the past, where people are countering on us. We give the ball away cheaply. We didn't do that because of the players we had, Amrabat and Casemiro and Mount. It was infectious. Keep the ball, pop it around. So we didn't give the ball away too much. That gave less pressure to the defenders. And then when they did break, we had guys like Hannibal and Mount. I saw a chance where they were breaking and they were like in full. Usually see people like half pace or 3/4 pace trying to get back. These guys were like greyhounds, and that was the rabbit. Whoever had the ball, they were going for them. And I love to see that sort of energy and going the opposite way as well. That gave me life. I was like, wow, you go, guys. I really do appreciate that. And also, I think Maguire, so they're playing it up to the Matata. I didn't realize how big and strong he is. Seriously, he would just fling me like that. Easy, one arm, move me. And I'd be stumbling all over the place. But he's done that in Maguire's chest, and it's like, nah, not happening. Maguire played brilliantly up against him, did not give the guy a sniff. And this is somebody who would usually manhandle or bully some of our defenders, pin them, hold them up, and, use them, like ragdoll them. It didn't happen today. So I thought Maguire was influential on that because he was the big man up front. He was their focal point to pop it into him. And he really sort of neutralized him in that respect as well. Palace did try. They did try to do something today. But whatever they did didn't work because in every area we had it covered because we had more composure. We had more of the ball. We were quicker. We had more energy. We were vibrant. And the B crowds that you mentioned were really excitable and really happy, So, yeah, I think Palace, give them credit, they're a Premiership football club. I was concerned playing them in the first round, the Premiership club. We could have got someone from lower divisions, but maybe it was good because it made us realise, we need to be at the races today, and we really performed. And I think us performing was the major issue here to say why we won 3-0. Nothing to do with Palace. They tried their best. They had a system to keep it compact, and and stop us from playing, and they failed because we were that good.
Mr. B, what did you think about the performance and just like how we handled that game?
We were very. See normally the first maybe 10 minutes, you could see one, there was a formation that they stuck to, an actual system of play, but they were finding players. It was just basically the wide men stayed wide. As I said during the game, we had maybe 5 players who stayed in their actual natural positions. 2 centre backs, the 2 wide men, and Onana. I think after that, to a certain extent, everybody tried to play football. You had Amrabat, who was on the left, and at multiple stages, I saw him on the right-hand side of the pitch. But then when he looked over on the left, there was cover in the left-back position. So it was like they had the system of play, and wherever the gaps were, if the left-back moved, so there was a lot of I said we don't, because it's only, this is the first game this season where I've come on here and I'm smiling. I'm actually thinking, you know what, you can see things moving forward. So I don't want to be overconfident or over happy. Oh, we did this, we did that. But the signs that I said, my thing was always having options, Ten Hag having the options that he could physically use in the game. We know Amrabat can play left or right back now, no problem. I don't want him in there, but we know it can be done. But even when he played left or right back, he was in midfield more than, and then you had Casemiro. I mean, where was Casemiro playing today? Somebody please tell me where was Casemiro playing today? So performance-wise, I'm delighted. I think they had the shape, and they all played to the system. They played to the system. There was no individuals today. Everybody, they had their game plan, and everybody worked to the system. I mean, Crystal Palace didn't get the ball for the first maybe 10 or 15 minutes of the game, and I think that set up United. The passes straight into feet, they were crisp. The control, the turning. How much time did players pick up the ball on the turn? So yeah, I think the performance was top this week. Half time.
Wicked. Well, let's see what the comments are saying. And we've got Drayton Manor's finest. Sorry, I'm on there. Damien Walsh. He said, "Love the Man United agenda. Appreciate all your content and hard work. Back from Mexico. Orale. Loving the English weather. Lol. It's all right for some, isn't it? Okay, we've got UK Strain. Says, don't think that Palace had much going forward to cause us issues, but we was unbelievable." Which I agree with. And then Emma K said, when Johnson came on, I thought we wouldn't score at all, but Garnacho proved me wrong. So a slight dig at Dean Henderson, I think, there. And I think all our sympathies are with Dean Henderson tonight. Pat Lawless, I'd preferred if the 3 goals had have gone in on that TalkSport tool, Dean Henderson, and not Sam Johnson. All right, it was always good to get a bit of spite in with your football as well. Big T, we hypnotised them like a snake charmer charms a snake. They wanted to play Unga Bunga football, but ended the night going home to listen to Chumbawamba.
Big T in the house.
The poet laureate of the United agenda. And Damien Walsh again. 2 good young winners make a big difference who are hungry and ready to make a name for themselves, I'm going to guess. We'll get on to the wingers, actually. Dean Henderson knew the goals was coming, so made an early exit. And I like this one a lot. Like Amrabat's first half shot, the ball just landed in Stockport, Cheshire. But I mean, like, that film, like Armageddon, where a bunch of plumbers go and like defuse an asteroid or something?
Yeah.
All we would really need is just Amrabat shooting. Let's take that asteroid out. Like,
brilliant.
Absolutely unbelievable. People on the International Space Station were in danger of that.
Good one.
Okay. Here's Big T trying to advance his agenda. How much of tonight's success is down to Ten Hag not being stubborn and straying from his usual selection? I think that's a tomorrow show, Big T. We all know the point you're trying to make. Trying to talk about Bruno and Rashford, and we can sort of get onto that. But I'm not sure that I like the way that this channel is becoming split down the middle on Bruno or either useless or our best player. I think that there's more of a spectrum to it, which a lot of you are on. And then
He's full of jokes today, boy.
Big T, particularly in the left wing and number 10 positions. What a surprise. Okay. I'm glad he's benched both Bruno and Rashford. More Bruno, I'm glad, was dropped. I got my wish. Oh, so he should be wishing for the to the next round. Not a player not playing, but I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't say. And Damien Walsh, so much love from the Mexican women. Tandy bath time. Oh, thanks, bath time, for my spelling mistake. Much love. I see what you've done there. Let's get behind the team and show VAR and the haters we can still win. That's good. Shout out to Mexican women as well. I know what you're talking about. It's a wonderful country. Right. So we've just done the performance. Now the key talking points. First of all, like Mr. B, is that like if you had to sort of just in one sentence summarize why that game was so good, what would it be?
We haven't played like that all season. It was a shock to me. The performance today was a shock. I'm glad we've had it, but we haven't seen that all season.
Okay, so Mr. B, in recent weeks we've been seeing a lot of people, myself included, talk about Ange and Pochettino at Chelsea and how instantly their styles have sort of been imposed on the team. Was tonight the first time we've seen Ten Hag ball?
Do you know what? My memory's not very good anyway, but I actually think this is, bath time. Do you know what? Yeah, I think you could be right there, mate. I think this is the first time where it's been total. The test is going to be obviously moving forward, but we've now seen the blueprint of what we would like to see and what we would expect. So yeah, I think you're right. I think this is probably the first week where we've seen the Ten Hag ball being played.
And so what changed from like on the pitch? Like what is the difference between the year and a half we've had and tonight?
I have absolutely no idea. The energy levels, I don't, because you look at it, you could put it down to this. The energy levels in the middle of the park, I think, were tremendous, going forward and backwards. We gave them no space, nowhere to play. The selflessness of the players in regards to covering other players' positions, not wanting to concede and not wanting to lose duels. I saw little Palestri getting Barak up on the side, but he still came back. He still came back for more. You know, there was a hunger and a desire from all of the players. You can't say it was just the younger ones. You know, Maguire played very, very well today. All right, he didn't have much to do, but on the ball is what we want him to do. He didn't make any mistakes. He played well. You know, Lindelof came on and was running down the wing. You know, as I said, the team was able to express themselves today in the system that he played in, and long may it continue.
And to follow that up, Amonde, is that because of the players on the pitch and their mental and physical levels, or what's the difference between tonight's performance and every other performance we've seen?
For me, the catalyst today is like having someone like Amrabat in the team. He's come in, give us that sort of control of the football in the midfield. So obviously he started out left back, but then he's drifted in, giving us he's looking for the ball, another option there to pick up the ball, and people can play it to him because they know it will stick. And he gets the ball and pops it around, controls the play, and then that creates other people to create movement as well. There's no panic there because they think, all right, he's got the ball, something's going to happen. He can switch the play, switch the ball a lot of the time. So him coming into that box midfield, I think, was crucial because we haven't had that. If you look before, you asked for the difference. Before we had someone like Shaw or Malacia in those positions, then coming into the midfield, you see them playing sort of in that interior role, whatever, and not having that sort of grace and class on the ball to dictate the play. And then we get panic and we might give the ball away or might make the wrong pass or that kind of thing. This guy's experienced enough to do that. And I think it's a key signing because you want to connect the dots to get everything working again. I sort of see it like, remember in Star Trek with Scotty, he'd be in the engine room trying to fix the warp system, and then he'd say, Captain, we're good to go. And the captain would go, all right, engage. And we go to warp, we can start moving and get warp speed. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what I saw today. Like Mr. B was saying, the warp speed, it includes popping it around nicely. Great. There's always angles and time and space for people to pass the ball in certain areas. No need to panic or drive. We talk about Garnacho or Rashford, for example, getting the ball and driving, head down, run into traffic, that kind of thing. There was no need for that today because we weren't. That's what I'm saying. There's no panicking today. We get the ball, right? Nothing gone. Let's start again, recycle, move it around, and get these players, the opposition players, running around and out of shape, and something will happen. And you do that because you've got the respect. I think it's to do with having. We got someone like Ericsson, Casemiro, and now Amrabat. You respect them that much. You train with these guys in whether it's little 7-side games or 5-side games. You want them on your side because they will dictate the play. So that's why you pass them. If it's someone else, you're not too sure. I think Rashford would even pass these guys now. Garnacho did it today. He didn't just get the ball and drive at people. He was looking right. I'm nothing on here. Let's turn back and give it back to Amrabat. Let's give it back to Casemiro and start again. These guys are really helping us here. And I'm not having to do all this sort of chasing around or running, or I'm not giving the ball away too much because of the system. And it's infectious, like I said earlier. It's infectious the way it comes off. So for me, the key change for me today was having someone like Amrabat coming into that box midfield and that domination. When we're in their half, we can dominate and we can keep the ball. And he's there to intercept. You mentioned earlier how he crunched somebody, not crunched someone, but put them under pressure. He came from the left back. We were playing football. We ended up on the right side, and they got the ball. He sort of put a lot of pressure on them to stop them from playing out, and stop them from turning, and then pinched the ball, or it went out for a throw or something. And I thought, well done, because that allowed everyone else to get back into shape. We get caught on transitions a lot with the way we're trying to develop our play. Today, that didn't happen that often. We restricted them to very few transitions on us, because of the way we dominated control. And that control came from Amrabat, in my opinion, playing in that box midfield and sort of with his intelligence as well. So big up to that bald-headed Moroccan. Your class player, bro.
Well, I think the thing that shocks me most is that you have an in-depth knowledge of Star Trek, but you still don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is. Like, well, let's see what a couple of the comments are saying. First off, we've got my mate, Mo, saying, do you guys think this was the best football we've seen this year?
Yeah.
Unanimous?
Yeah.
We got Zoe saying, tonight was the first time Bruno was dropped since he arrived, and we played well. And believe me, there's a lot of Bruno comments, but I'm not reading all of them. Big T is saying, attacks weren't rushed, and passes did not look like they were going to go around a pinball table. And we also played with a bit of swagger tonight towards the end of the first half, where we began taking the piss out of Palace.
Good.
Which, I haven't seen that for a while. And the thing is we deserved to, which was great. And so he's agreeing, collectively as a team we were good. It was the collective tonight. Big T is echoing this thought, saying, definitely Zoe, tonight we were a team. And I'm assuming that the implication is beforehand we were a collection of individuals. And then...
Or a couple in Big T's case.
Yeah. Remove the politics and the theatrics, and it's just about the football. We've seen that tonight. I've just worked out what he means. I assume politics is Rashford and theatrics is Bruno. Oh, good. And also, Monday, well done for inadvertently making a joke about Rashford crashing his car by saying he runs into traffic too much. Yeah. I think me and Mr. B enjoyed that one.
Overheads. Just to say
It
as
did.
well, going back to Star Trek, the Borg collective, they were so powerful and strong because they were all one. They all fought on the same forts. It wasn't like individuals. They all fought as a one. And they would what's what they used to say? We assimilate you and just take over. And that's what we're planning to do, like the Borg and the big cube ship that they had. They're one collective, and that's what you want to be. Everyone on the same page, everyone telepathically doing the same thing for this cause. A bit like bees, how bees operate. It's true. This is teamwork, isn't it? You see that in nature, teamwork like that. This is why bees are so successful, because they work as a team, and ants as well. You know?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to bring up you social insects, to be honest, or Swedish people, when discussing like how United would work. But I'm a big fan of bees as well. So I pressed the wrong button here. Is there anything else on the key talking points that anyone would like to bring up?
No, I'm good. I am.
Well, look. I think we can talk about the players individually and that kind of thing, but the key talking point for me is the system, the shape. And you know, like they say, the future's bright, the future's orange, and we talk about total football. Like Mr. B made a great point about when Amrabat left his position, it wasn't like naive. Someone like Hannibal would drop in there. I saw Hannibal drop in there, thinking, "All right, I'll wait for you to come back." It wasn't. I can't hear any communication, but it's just a natural thing to happen. I think that's what we've got to strive to do. You made a point half time about Angball, the Tottenham and Pochettino instantly having that impact. But our things taking a long time to develop. Maybe it's the personnel, maybe it's stubbornness of some players or whatever. But tonight, you know, Muffy Kelly, stars in your eyes. I've got stars in my eyes because I can see a great. I can see the future. I can see a vision of how we're supposed to do it, and it's a huge step forward for us. A bit like when we played Liverpool last season, it was a step forward. Right, we can do this. You know, we beat them 2-1 after losing our first couple of games. That's how I feel today. It's like a big step forward for me, a huge leap for mankind, and the eagle has landed. As I say, I'm just so excited.
Well, they've been knocked out, the Eagles.
Yeah, that's right.
But one thing that I'm interested by is you mentioned the box midfield. Who was in it and what does it do?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think sometimes it could be anybody, but I think it was Amrabat and Casemiro at times. So we had Dalot, Varane and Maguire, maybe three at the back. Then sometimes Dalot would hug the touchline or push, played inverted in that sort of role. So it would be mainly Amrabat coming into the midfield ahead of the two centre-backs and picking up the ball in those areas there. And Casemiro maybe next to him, and then ahead of him, so that's the lower part of the box, and ahead of him would be Mount and Hannibal as well. And then that way, people get attracted to the middle, and that gives time for the guys out wide to have more space and time, especially the wide men play hugging the touchline. Maybe they were stretched to back four. So it's really, I see now when it's been happening to us a lot of the time, I understand it a bit better now because I'm thinking, all right, Palace had to go with Mount, go with Hannibal, and a lot of people might say Mount was quiet today, he didn't do much, but I think what he does is intelligence by being in this position, standing still sometimes, and having a guy around him to stick with him. Because that way, that leaves more space for the people out wide to get more time, more space on the ball, and stretch teams as well. So Hannibal and Mount ahead of Casemiro and Amrabat, and that way in the centre of the park, and they can dominate and outnumber teams as well. I think it was really good today because we did have a lot of key possession and control, and that's what it gives you.
Excellent. And just one final point on the box midfield. The Monday's completely correct in what he said, but what he might have left out is that the two players at the front of the box, which would be Mount and Hannibal in this case, they play in between the lines. And what it means is that if you play a midfield 3 or a midfield 4, to stop them being outnumbered, they have to drop back, which gives more space to your back 3 to progress the ball, or they get tight and compact, and we see players out on the wings getting the space. So it was really exciting to see that this evening, a much more structurally focused game. But we've got to talk to the comments, and we're going to start off with Mo. Who I've done shows with Mo. He's a lovely guy, but he hasn't picked up on the message that Rashford Bruno slander is tomorrow night. So do you think someone needs to sit Rashford down, tell him it's better to look for the second, third, or even fifth pass? Yes. Like, there we go. Zoe, we are the Borg. You will be assimilated.
Zoe, Trekkie, big up.
Yeah, okay. And yes, Emma Kate.
The resistance is futile. That's the line.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's
He's
the Borg.
talking. Have you never heard of Star Trek?
I don't watch Star Trek. I don't. Right now I know what's going on with this Borgie assimilation stuff. It's cool. It went over my head, and now it can stay over my head. It's cool now. I just needed to understand what the hell you were talking about.
This football will live long and prosper.
I mean, Mr. B, with them headphones on, you do look a bit Borgish.
Martin, you're on a roll to that, though, bro.
Thank you.
What are you drinking? Hot chocolate.
I'm not drinking anything.
But yeah, you're definitely on a roll.
All right.
Love it.
Shout out Dan Gore, a debut on his 19th birthday. What a present. I'd like to talk about Dan Gore a bit later. He's like exactly my kind of player. And Zoe is agreeing. Yes, Emma. Thank you for reminding me of Dan Gore. Brilliant debut. Big T. I don't know this expression. Mount was surprisingly not chintz tonight. There is hope for him, yeah. Chintz.
Maybe
he does, but
yeah. Maybe he's maybe he's got what's his name's keyboard, Vincent.
Oh, Vincent, yeah. Vincent, man. Shout out to Vincent. I'd love to see a romantic comedy starring Vincent with it like mainly being confusion about what his text messages are saying. And whoa, this is a statement. Mason Mount has the potential to be a Man United great. I think we're getting ahead of ourselves there, but a lovely thought.
We might be.
I think we're allowed to get ahead of ourselves tonight.
To be fair, sorry. Of all of the midfielders who played, oh, actually, no, it's coming up next. It's all right, we're going to do that. All right, yeah, cool, yeah, no problem.
And Emma is saying, yeah, you can tell he needs to work on his physical, but he wasn't half bad. And he's coming back from injury, so you'd expect that. I think she means his physical levels, not his body. But you never know. And then, right, we're really going over the top now. Donny looked good when he came on. The crowd seemed to be with me on this one, Judge Bath Time. On what one? Oh, what are you talking about? I don't know. But one thing that we might have missed, and we should actually address at some point, is that the TRA, the Red Army, wasn't leading the atmosphere tonight, and there's been like problems between them and the club. So I thought the atmosphere was pretty good without our cheerleaders, as it were, leading it tonight. I'm not slandering anyone, Bath Time. I love everyone. Oh, all right, Mo. God. And then Zoe Media's house is loving something or other. But yeah, this is good, isn't it? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to stall where I find where the banners are. Here they are. Player ratings and man of the match. So, do you want to skip Anana? Because he didn't really have anything to do.
That makes him a 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 2 saves, one with his chest and one with his foot. 6.
All right, let's talk about the back four on Monday. This is your specialist subject. Should we even be treating them as a back four?
Just talking as a unit, usually. Individual, Dallo done well today. Obviously, we're a bit concerned, aren't we, about our fullback positions because we don't want to burn them out. We haven't got much backup. Williams has gone. I don't know who else is there. If there's any youths coming. But yeah, we've got Dallo. We've got Malacia. We've got Shaw. He's out. Malacia is out. Reguilon had a little sickness the other day as well. We have to be really mindful about these players. But Dallo is a proper professional. He takes that from Ronaldo. I don't know if anyone's ever heard about him or had an interview with him, but he's really dedicated to the sport. He's a great athlete as well. So hopefully he can, keep going. Wan-Bissaka's out as well. But I thought Dalot done really well today. He was strong. He's experienced now. This is a young boy Mourinho signed for us. He's a man now, and I appreciate having him on the side. And while he was playing, at one point, I remember thinking to myself, he's a good player. I was watching him thinking, he's a good player. This is what I was saying to myself. He's a good player. Anyone else watching would be proud to have him. If he was playing with someone else, I'd say, that guy's good. We should sign him. That's
Head of Wan-Bissaka for you now?
No, I'm not, nothing to do with it. I don't want to get into that sort of debate. I'm just saying today he was good. Varane, we know what he's got. Champions League Varane, whatever. I love how he just comes across, deals with things, takes people away from goal, sort of runs with them and takes them away from goal. He makes it easier for himself. For me, I spoke about him, so I'm going to talk about him again. But for me, Maguire was fantastic today. This guy has got the thickest skin I know, because he's taken worlds of abuse and he comes back and still performs like he did today. First of all, as a defender, read the game. He did that. Tick that box. Win your headers against the big unit he was up against. He didn't give him a sniff. Tick that box. On the ball, driving forward, passing, composure, peeling off at the right times to get the ball, head up, trying to play football between the lines. I thought he had a 98% passing rate today. I remember one pass he gave away, but he was trying to do the right thing by passing between the lines, which was really good. So I'm going to give him my man in the match as a 9 today. I know it's ridiculous, but some people, but he gets a 9. And Amrabat, for what he did, I thought he was brilliant today. He gets an 8. The other 2 get 6s. So the 9 for Maguire, Amrabat gets 8. I thought Maguire was fantastic. I'm adding the pressure that he's under. It's so easy for him to collapse, or any other player to collapse, or sitting on the toilet before a game, scared. What if I make a mistake? That sort of thing. He's gone out there and really delivered today. And based on that, I just think, well done, Maguire. He was good. I hope everyone in the comments not apologised or anything, but just say, just gives it one of these ones. Like, yeah, man, Maguire played well. I just want to see that from the comments. Say, yeah, Omondi, you're right. Maguire did play well today. Props.
But he wasn't a 9 on Monday.
To me, he was
wasn't a 9.
To me, he was a 9.
You're dead serious. You are dead serious that you're going to give Maguire a 9.
Mr. B, you know what it is. Defense, like
does the scoring actually go up to 10, or are we scoring up to 15 this week?
What it is, Mr. B, defenders always get stick. When things go wrong, it's always defenders' fault, as we see with Maguire. No one moans when Rashford keeps missing goals. That's his job. He's supposed to score goals. Or Martial or Rashford, whatever, supposed to score goals. It's always done the defence. So when the defence gets a clean sheet, when the defence gets a lot of pressure, he comes into the side, bit rusty, and still performs at a high level, doesn't make mistakes, wins his headers, silences their big centre-back, which is supposed to be their hold-up man, and gives him not a damn thing, passes the ball with conviction and confidence. I'm going to give that guy a 9 based on that.
Extraordinary.
That's not the word I was using, but that's the meaning that I meant bath time. Yeah, extraordinary.
Excellent.
Okay.
No, excellent and extraordinary. Yes, thank you. Those are the words I'm looking at regarding Maguire. Anyway, what do you guys think of the back four? That's me.
Well, I think it's very interesting that you said Dalot played really well, and yet you gave Maguire 30% more in your match rating.
Yeah. It's a confidence boost. I'm a manager. It's a confidence boost to give them a little bit, of a boost. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, speaking of our manager, do you think that he was late for the second half because he was doing the shit and then came out and waved at everyone? I found that tremendously funny.
Drying his hands, yeah?
He comes out, yeah. Comes out. They've been on the bug, Absolutely great stuff. Mr. B, some sanity, please. What are your ratings for the back four?
I'm not giving Maguire a 9. And I could be nitpicky and say that he got done, and if it wasn't for Onana saving it with his chest, then there was a ball.
Evans played it inside. Maguire done well. Sorry.
Okay, fine. No, I'm glad that you noticed that before and all of that. I only saw Maguire getting getting roasted. That's the part of his game I worry about. His one-on-one defending. But I'm not giving him a 9. I'll give him a 7. He didn't have a lot to do, but what he did well. I'll give the whole. As I'll be including Amrabat in that because I think his level was higher. But I'm giving Anana a 7, Dallo a 7, Varane. Varane, I'm going to give him a 7 because I think that Amrabat probably deserves an 8 for what he did in the game. So yeah, I'll give those a 7 and Amrabat an 8.
I think I'd agree with that. Like, I know people always talk about how Maguire can only play in a back three without really understanding that everyone's used a back three for 20 years. I think having Maguire in the centre made a huge difference to his game. He's a very good defender when he's in the centre. It's out wide he really struggles, and Varane is just beautiful out wide. Such a wonderful player. But we'll do some comments before we get on to the midfield. Emma Kay was talking about Gore, not Mount. Doesn't like Mount. Not a good buy. Big T, I call for sentencing to be brought forward. Objection overruled. Anana has higher passing accuracy than Bruno. All right. We're a back five at moments. It brought a tear to my eye. Zoe's given Casemiro a mark, but we'll show that later. And look at this, Monday. Big T. Maguire was a goal away from a 10. Extraordinary. And Emma Kay is saying Maguire still does that thing where he basically hugs the opponent. It's a pen or a free kick waiting to happen. Didn't do it too much tonight, but he needs to get rid of it fully. Like, what do you think about that, Amonde? Is that fair? That's
something that's generalising. We talked about the game today. I don't think he was holding on to Mateta as it was too much. He read him, intercepted him, won his headers against him, stopped him from playing. I think that's all you need to do as a defender. And I think it goes unnoticed. But what does go noticed is comments like that by saying he hugs a player. And I do agree he does that. And he will give away a free kick or a penalty, a crucial one, sooner or later. But today he was outstanding.
All right, let's talk about the midfield unit, Mr. B. Casemiro, Mount, and Hannibal Maidry. Underwhelmed? Delighted? What did you think of those boys?
Absolutely delighted.
Was there a standout?
Casemiro was my man of the match. I just think he was magnificent today. Everything he did, I thought was class. Even his tackling, he had one where he went to stretch, and I'm sure I even on the screen thinking, oh bloody hell. But I think that was the only thing that he did. I'm giving Casemiro my man of the match. I think Hannibal. I like players who prove a point to a manager. He hasn't let him down the games that he's played. I want him to start getting the trust of Ten Hag, so that when the games come, we don't know whether or not he's going to play. The opposition are then not going to know if he's not going to play. So I'm glad for Hannibal. To be fair, I actually think that Mason was the worst of the three midfielders.
Ooh.
But he still did a good job. This is, at the moment, it looks like Mason is an off the ball player, if you know what I mean. His best work is off the ball. So it's like he frees up space for everybody else to be able to do what they want to do. I mean, I know he got the assist for the goal from the corner, but I'm still not sure what Mason Mount's role is in the team or what he does as a player. That's what I'm waiting to see before I make judgment on him, though, to be fair. But those, I'm giving Casemiro as my man of the match, and Hannibal is now starting to give the manager headaches, and that's the only thing you can do as a player. Give your manager a good headache, not a Sancho headache, a good headache.
I'm just going to cut in there, Monday, before we come to you, which is that you talked about Mount being the like off the ball runner this evening, Mr. B. In my recollection, Mount and Hannibal had to change positions after about 30 minutes because Hannibal got a silly yellow card for chasing a guy back, and they swapped then. And I thought Mount was very good tonight. I completely agree with you. Casemiro was the outstanding player on the football pitch, and I think it was because of Amrabat, Mount, and Hannibal being sensibly positioned around him. So I wouldn't be too harsh on Mount because Ten Hag had to adjust his tactics because of Hannibal. A shout out to Hannibal. Came through the game without getting red carded. They were at him for a good 10 minutes trying to get him sent off with shoulder barges and stuff. Really pleased to see him react by not reacting. Omondi, the midfield, the box midfield. What did you think?
Yeah, I'm not qualified as much as you two to talk about midfield, but I thought, Casemiro was outstanding because he had a lot of time and space on the ball, and that's where he can show his real quality today. First time passes, even when he wasn't expecting it, he knew exactly straight away, bam, where to hit it, where to pass it. And I think Dan Gore and all these other guys should be watching to realise, okay, make the game simple, make your first touch good, have that awareness, scan everything, what you're doing, and you'll be a good player. And Casemiro showed that today. And obviously he scored a goal as well. I mean, look, that guy, was he a striker as a kid? Because he comes up and wins headers, a bit like Paul Scholes used to do. Didn't you remember Paul Scholes in his early days? He used to have that ability to sort of come up, and he's not the giant of a player, and come up and score these headers and time things in the box. He was outstanding with the goal, and you'd love to see that straight from a corner. We scored a set piece. It's nice to see, isn't it? Mount outswinger, and he sort of did. You say about like movement, like on a Sunday, I say to my defenders when they're going up for corners, start there, make a diagonal run, make that movement. Casemiro stood still. He made like just a slight movement to beat his marker and scored the header. And there was a lot of movement around him. So sometimes you don't really have to make those runs. You just have to sort of just last minute move, little bit of movement. The other two guys were magnificent. They gave you legs. I did think Mount and Hannibal played well. And I don't know what the comments think, but the midfield done really well today. It's always the hub of the team.
Well, should we see what the comments say? Because there's quite a few about Hannibal here. And we start off with Mo. Do you think Hannibal is too aggressive, especially after getting a yellow card? I love the aggression, but sometimes it can get him into trouble.
It's a myth.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a myth because these days it's like you can't tackle, you can't be aggressive. I think you have to give him credit. A referee was watching him today, knew he was on a yellow card, and just said, and a couple of times he did make tackles after that, but it weren't aggressive tackles. He's just trying to get back. He's hustling, and he's a hustler. So I don't think he's aggressive. I think he's a hustler, and that's what he's supposed to do.
Has he ever played a competitive game without getting a card?
Maybe at Birmingham. Who knows what was going on.
I think Hannibal was a little bit unlucky with his yellow card. It was the first tackle he did. He lacked like that kind of that lengthy pace that Varane has. And that was my only concern with Hannibal today, is that his recovery runs, they didn't eat up the space how you'd want your right-sided midfielder to eat them up. But he's a young boy, and he's still got time to grow and learn and things. And I think he's, as Mr. B said, he's given Ten Hag a headache, and not just because of that mop on his head. Hannibal is our new Cantona. Keep showing that aggression. Well, I mean, not the full aggression that Cantona showed, but I agree with you on that. And then Zoe's Media House is Hannibal's aggressive play is what makes him a player. I remember pundits used to say the same about Rooney, and that part of his game was taken out. He was never the same again. Interesting.
Good point.
And Big T is saying Casemiro can clearly attack. Has he played attack in midfield previously? Emma's come in saying there's a story of him changing his position from a striker to a DM at a trial because there was a lot of strikers. And
Didn't know that.
Okay.
And Mo is saying that he looks like Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons. And Montreal MUFC is saying that Zoe has a good point there. Well, I agree. It is difficult to say that our leading like sort of goal scorer, but like he lost parts of his game. But if we get anything near what we got from Rooney with Hannibal, I'd be over the moon. And now we get to the fun bit, which is the attack. Martial, Palestri, and Garnacho. Mr. B, you love wingers, you love dribbling, you love skills. What did you love about that performance, and what ratings are we getting?
They held their shape for one. They were both dynamic. Either side, I think this is one of Garnacho's best starting games.
Yeah.
He didn't just, he didn't. How much time did he actually go flying past defender? He played him in. A lot of it was being played in, pass inside, and then going. I think they were intelligent today, both of them. But Martial scoring, man, it's just put such a big smile on my face. I was wondering if he was going to get the full 90 minutes, which would have been the first time in how much years. But he looks fit. He looks hungry, and I think the goal is going to do him the world of good. I'm going to give all of that front. I'm going to give all of them a 7. Although Pelestri didn't score, I think he had a very positive game. I can't give Garnacho or Martial, although he scored, a higher mark than Amrabat. So they'll have to go 7s.
Yeah. Do you think that Casemiro's cross was meant for Martial, or was it for Mabry?
I'm going to
say was it to an area?
It was meant for Martial. 100. Oh, I don't know. To be fair, I don't know, but it was a great pass. I would say he meant it. I'd say he meant it.
Is the whole
it must be his
stream frozen? Can someone just type 1 or something in chat? No, it's running.
Yeah,
it's just that Montreal internet. And also we saw Martial and Garnacho play some really nice stuff in the first half, linking with each other. But Omondi, what did you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with Mr. B. What he was saying, it's intelligent wing play. What we saw today from Garnacho as well. I'm really surprised by that, and it probably is the best performance I've seen him do from the start. Maybe there was a game last year where he done well. I'm not entirely sure, but I was really impressed with him today. There's only one time he sort of had an opportunity to cross the ball and he tried to take the player on again, and he knew it. He knew he gave it, and he tracked back. His attitude was to get back and run back and help out the team. And because when you're playing so well as a team, if you give the ball away, it highlights it more in situations like that. So, damn, everyone has done well up to this point. I've given the ball away, and it's even more highlighted. But when you're playing in a poor team that's consistently giving the ball away, it doesn't matter so much because you've done it. How can you have a go at me? You fucking done that. Excuse me, but that's what you say in the picture. Fuck you. You done that earlier or whatever. But so I think playing in a good team and doing something like that and making a mistake like that, it sort of shows you, highlights you. You're like, oh, gulp. I've just messed up. So I'm really happy. I'll give them all a 7. And Martial, by the way, what a finish. Another cross, which was saying, I mean, when the managers first turned up, we saw him doing these training drills on the preseason last year. Half space, crossing from half space. Remember, Rashford scored a bullet header from that substitution. I was like, what? Is that Rashford or what? And Martial, to direct that ball, was done really well. He sort of held his run. I thought, oh, God, are they going to say it's offside? No. He held his run. He waited because he knew, Casemiro's going to whip it in straight away, as he always does. And that's exactly what happened. So it's familiarity and understanding how people play and understanding. We always pop it in. I never knew this by half time. You sort of showed me about the half space cross, how important it is, until you showed me that graphic. You remember you showed me that graphic about where those goals are scored? I thought it was always better maybe to do the little cutbacks or whatever, get to the byline, for play it across the corridor of uncertainty, that sort of thing. But that ball seems to work. It's very effective. I just still, to this day, I'm not convinced, but it worked today. Martial, great finish you left for 7s.
I agree. I think that also the other thing about Garnacho losing the ball in that situation, or whatever, whoever it was about the 70th minute, wasn't it? And we were 3-0 up. To me, that's all right to sort of try and chop your man up, doing stuff like that. Because you've got to remember, football is to get the blood pumping and things like that. But I also had a laugh when I think when Johnny Evans came on, he and Ten Hag were in quite deep conversation about what he should be doing, and Evans was responding. And there was a bit where Ten Hag pulled Garnacho over and spoke to him. And Garnacho was just thinking, what would the world be like if cats had wings? Or something like that. He wasn't taking any of it in. But I was delighted by it. And let's see what the comments are showing. So we're back to Rooney, but this is a good one. When the aggression was taken out of Rooney, he ended up hugging grannies.
Big T, man. What you?
And Emma's saying there's a time and place to use your aggression. Ten Hag definitely had a chat with him about it. I agree with that. I think that's a good point. And then Big T, Jesus, watching Garnacho and Palestri was like watching Nani and Ronaldo all over again. Do you know what? If you want to get carried away, tonight's a night to get carried away on. You know, no one's going to hold that against you. Best performance since Southampton a couple of years ago. Mo is saying, Tony, they need to wrap him, bubble wrap, after all the games. It was lovely to see that man smiling tonight. And then Uncle Dubious. Martial is grossly underrated. His movement creates so much space. His first game back, he immediately created a goal that way. Players love playing with him. Now, Uncle Dubious, I am a huge fan of Martial. He's probably my favourite player at United, and I know Mr. B is a big fan as well. And I think you make a good point that in our best performance for years, Martial was our main striker. And I think that's something that we might get into tomorrow. And then Emma K, Palestri looked tired at the end, definitely worked his socks off. Pele. Martial led the right line, surrounded by Pele, Garnacho, and Hannibal. Palestri, he means. And won 3-0. Class! Martial moves like Henry. What a shame he does not have the body. Well, he might move like Henry does now, but I mean, I'm not sure about that. Uncle Dubious is saying Palestri plays with heart. And then Zoe is saying, I agree. I prefer Martial to partner either Rashford or Højlund. It's interesting. I think that the match preview on, will it be Thursday? Sorry, Friday. Friday. I think that's going to be interesting because like these lovely little gummy berries that went out tonight have really put a rocket up Ten Hag. It's going to be fascinating. So we're just going to finish up now. Palestri and Garnacho worked their socks off. Prior to one of the goals, Garnacho made a really long sprint to support the midfield and recover a loose ball. And I have to agree here with Montreal MUFC. I've always been, like, not Garnacho skeptic, but his defensive stuff has always been nowhere near the levels of his attacking stuff. And tonight, from him and Palestri, we saw them defending really well. They didn't have a lot to do, but we did win the ball high up the pitch repeatedly. And Uncle Dubious is saying, my guy, because we like Martial. Lol, Klein off balance at the end. He was pissed with Garnacho. I can tell you that Klein will have a little black book and it will only have Garnacho's name in it. And I promise you, in the next 3 years, you're going to see Klein absolutely hit Garnacho. He will not. Professional footballers do not like that. Yeah, he's definitely marked. And Jeff is here. Nice to see a comfortable match for a change. And Mr. B, do you have an offer to make to Jeff?
Yeah, we need to get you on, Jeff. I don't know if it's going to be this week or next week, but we need somebody with a lot more intelligence than we have. We've got a few things that we need to discuss. I've got your. I can get in contact with you on. I don't know which one of them I'm on, but I can get in contact with
as soon as possible because of the news that I heard. What's happened in America? Yes.
Okay. Okay, Jeff. If you're there, can you come on tomorrow? Or I know it's awkward.
Put Jeff on tomorrow because Jeff is a huge fan of Bruno, and if we're having a Bruno Rashford conversation, we can start.
You know what, Jeff, my friend, are you available? I know. I'm looking forward to this. You available for tomorrow? If you're still watching the stream or you've dipped off or dipped on, you know how to get hold of me. Just do the thing, and then we can. Jeff, we still there, and then we can. He said Jeff was flying the plane. Yeah, we can get that sorted.
All right. So just while we wait for Jeff to respond to us, Maguire man of the match for Omondi. Amrabat man of the match for you, Mr. B.
No, Casemiro man of the match for me.
Yeah, Casemiro man of the match.
Yeah. And yours?
I think Casemiro as well. Like he really showed like Amrabat played really, really well and is a good player. But when there's a common pressing trap in midfield, which is about like playing a square ball back. And if you watch Casemiro never played like the ball at 90 degrees back to invite that trap. So, all right, can't do it till Friday. Should we do it on Friday then?
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Well, you lot have to be on that. I can't do that on my own. Not with that one. So, look, we'll work it out. We'll get a day that's convenient for everybody, and we'll get that. We'll get that done because it needs to be done now.
All right. Well, we're well over time, which is fine. Well, we just do what we want. We're rebels, except we're not banging on about the Glazers. Shout out to you, rebel. So thanks very, very much to all of you watching. Like, I know the comments are flying in, but like, Amondi's got to watch some Star Trek. If you, so, like the stream, share it. If you see anything you think is funny or ridiculous, like clip us up and send it to us on Twitter. We'll be seeing you at 9 o'clock most nights, and I'm just so pleased you're all here sharing your time with us. Mr. B, any final words?
Nope. Somebody's got it here. UTFR. Up the beep beep Reds. I'll take that.
Amondi?
Yeah, it's just really delighted today. I feel boosted. It's exactly what we needed to sort of change our mood, and it's looking bright for the future. It's looking orange. Total football. Let's go.
Wicked. And I'm actually going to remember to press the outro button tonight.
Yay!
Good night.
Good night, guys.